I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
We also want to thank you for that, for your interest in our music.
Well, you created a great album. It's a lot to talk about in this one for sure.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, is there a creative formula for the band when you create music?
Um,
I I don't think so. That because we're all putting our separate preferences of metal music into our stuff. So it's pretty much an amalgamation of all our music tastes.
I share with each other files as you go, like someone comes up with a riff, passes it on to someone else, or how does that work for you?
Mostly someone comes with a complete song idea. So just some guitars and programmed drums and how do you say a text example for what anybody thinks, and then we try to work it out from there. And well, I mean, the songs change after someone has written it. We only take the song how it works with the band in the rehearsal room. So we rehearse it and then try to make it better, basically.
I wanted to ask you about the title track. Was the album a working title before or after the song?
No, the song was first there, and then we said, how about we take this and because the theme of this whole H.P. Lovecraft thing is it's a thing that suits us all, so we could um, take it and had pretty much no discussion of if that's good or not. We are all on the same page to name this album that way.
And I wanted to ask you as well about The False Prophet. It's my favorite track on the album.
Okay, that's that's written by our lead guitarist. He is a real thrash metal dude. So thanks to him, we don't do just death metal, but thrash and death metal.
And I wanted to ask you as well, could you speak on the album artwork and the artist that is involved with the project?
This is a hobby of my wife, actually. She does AI art and such things, and so she came up with an idea, and we then thought that we're always tight on money, so why not use this if it's good? That's the premise. I mean, you can use AI, but if it's shit, then take it away. But when it's good and it suits the music and the taste, then why not use it?
One of the best qualities of the band is your unique sound. You get when I hear your music, it stands out, and I think the reason is the diversity of the band, combining different elements together. I think it works very well for you. Was that a goal that you had in mind upon starting the band?
Well, the band's name is Aimless Death, so we have no specific goal in mind.
Thoughts of going on tour with this album?
Yeah,
Um,
touring is pretty difficult because we all have our normal jobs, so we're more about single gigs and spread these across the year. So 10 to 12 gigs a year or something like that.
And were there tracks that didn't make the album that you have that were left over that maybe didn't fit because of time restriction, or they didn't fit with the theme of the album?
yes. It's the time restriction. Because we are, how do you say, the quantity of songwriting is more than just there. So I believe we have material for also the next album, but we did make the cut at eight songs and try to, yeah, we are now also writing on the next album as we speak.
Wow. And and speaking on your beginnings, I wanted to ask you, how did the band become a reality? How did everyone get together?
Well, that was after the COVID years. The band is founded in 2012 and pretty much split up during the COVID years. And after that, Peter, our lead guitarist, and Tom, our drummer, searched for new guys to join in. And I wrote Peter because I knew him from 10 years ago. If he knows if something is going on, because my band split up too, and so we met up and we jammed a little, and then said, "All right, that could work." We try a little bit in the rehearsal room, and then we started on Facebook to search new members for bass and rhythm guitar. And so we found Quinn and Rasmus, our rhythm guitarist. And then we started pretty much 2 years ago from scratch. They had some old songs we practiced. There was an EP out, and on 3 or 5 songs we made new lyrics for the songs and changed them a bit. And so this started pretty much after COVID.
I want to ask you each if you could speak on your musical journey. At what age did you begin, and how was your musical journey? If you went through teachings, or uh, what actually took place and led you to that point?
For me, I started playing guitar at 16 until I was like 19 years old, and then I kind of lost interest in playing music. And I also did I was like a guitarist in a gothic rock band when I was 18, 17 years old, but it was pretty much simple stuff. But I kind of lost interest at 19, 20 years old, and then 2, 3 years of absolutely nothing. And then I thought, playing guitar is a cool hobby. So I started playing acoustic and Western guitar again, and did that for like 2, 3 years, just playing Western rock stuff, blues rock stuff on my Western guitar just for myself. And then I thought, well, okay, maybe I try to play electric guitar. And after a year of playing electric guitar, I was like, I'm in search of a band. So I got into some Facebook groups for musicians seek musicians, and I see an ad of the band called Aimless Death, which were in need of a bassist and a guitarist. So I wrote them and said, "For yeah, I want to be a guitarist." And the drummer wrote me back, "Well, are you also interested in playing bass?" So I said, "Yeah, but I don't have a bass guitar." Just and then Stefan said, "Well, you can have my old bass guitar. I'm the singer now." And so I became the bassist of the band.
So, and with me, it was I played at the local brass band since I was 9 years old. And then with 14, 15, we started to play to make a pretty bad cover band with some those old street punk stuff, Blink 182 and some German bands, and played the top 40 stuff. Then this split up, and then I played guitar at a doom metal band that went 7 to 8 years, and then that split up, and then I was the whole COVID time was alone at home with my
Sure.
interface in my laptop, and I wrote some death metal tunes, some doom metal tunes, and and then I thought I could message Peter and say we could start something.
And I think with the one good thing that came out of the COVID period was people had time to create. Since COVID has happened, I've heard some of the best albums I've ever heard. Just because I think that bands had time to not be on the road, be rushed into the studio and throw something together so they could hit the road again. And people had the time to actually focus on the creativity. And I think we're still reaping some of the greatest albums in metal that's ever happened.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, along your journey as a band, what do you feel has been the best advice that has been given to you along the way?
Um,
um,
I I I just I don't know, but for a band you need to be, or to be in our band you need to be a absolute team player. And if you're there is no need, or for an alpha animal, or a pack leader who says, this it goes this way, you need to accept and respect your other band members as equals, as completely equal, and everybody has a valid opinion. So everyone with us has a kind of veto right. If he says no, absolutely not, it's not come on, just do it, but it's over the idea, and take your
yeah,
time.
and we said from the beginning when we five met the first time that this whole band stuff is a hobby and not we're not trying to make money out of it. We all know it costs more money than it brings us.
Absolutely. And it's a shame, actually. And I think a lot of that has to do with the way the industry is today. And speaking on that, I wanted to ask you guys, as being a DIY band and doing things on your own, how do you envision the industry of the future?
I
uh,
think that it will be smaller bands, and I think that there will be no such big bands as Maiden or Priest. It will all come down to a smaller level, which I pretty much would say I would prefer than those big shows where you can't really afford the ticket.
Sure.
Or I mean, if you know what a band shirt or tour shirt is, what's the price for making is, and then you see the prices what they're selling for, you don't really know why.
well, I think it's, how do you say, with underground music. I mean, we make underground music. It's not for the mainstream or the big masses. So I don't know if will change if it will change that much. Like, because we play harsh music with small shows, and it's only speaks to a, how do you say, to a small group of people.
It's the bond, too, that makes metal so strong is that metal fans are more loyal if someone comes to see your show and they or hear your album and they enjoy what they like. Chances are their friends like it as well because they're into the same thing. I think Metal is the tightest unit of all genres, definitely.
Probably.
And I also wanted to ask you, speaking of the album and everything, what is the best way to get merchandise and any physical copies of the album?
Bandcamp. You can order it from Bandcamp. You can write us in private or just go to the Instagram or the Facebook site. Just write us what you want to what address, and we do just do PayPal, and we take shipment. The physical release of the album is still a few months from now in the future, because we've had some issues with the press factory of who will press our LPs and our LP vinyls and our CDs. So that will take still take a few months. But we do a kind of pre-release sale, and all informations about that will be on our social networks.
Lastly, I wanted to ask you both if you could give a message to your fans, what would that message be, my friends?
Well,
Come
keep on
drink a
going.
beer with us.
Go outside, go to the shows, and if you're on, support your local bands, small bands, and it doesn't matter um, if the concert was bad or good, but you have to support those small bands because most of the time they're pretty good.
Sure. And I think, we talked about a little bit. You can pay $250 to see Iron Maiden, or you can see 10 of your 10 bands that are equally as talented on the local scene and still get
Yeah.
more bang for your buck.
Yeah, and get more hammered than on a
Yes.
I'm Maiden concert.
But I mean, we are ourselves. We are just metal fans making metal music.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um,
Sorry about that.
okay, no problem. I would say we are ourselves. We are just metal fans making metal music. So we also go see other local bands, you know. So
Sure.
for us, it's also a night out. And what I also would say to everybody, watch the first band on the lineup, because I always think it's a little bit of a shame that most people skip like the first band and they play for like three people, and
Sure.
which two of them are technicians at the venue, and that's a little bit of a shame. And so if we play, I always are like, for myself, I always watch the first band in the front row, and they appreciate it.
Take time to thank you for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom. I think you have a unique sound and a great style. And I look forward to what comes next, my friends.
Thank you.
We hope something good.
I'm sure it will be. And thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot for inviting us.
Thank, thank you also, and enjoy the album.
You guys have a great rest of your evening, my friends.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much. You
Ciao,
too.
ciao.
Cheers.